what's up, everybody? I figured I'd go off and show y'all how we do a setup on these cars. Just give y'all quick basics on how we do everything on a brand new car, or for example, like with my case, when I wreck my car pretty bad and break some stuff, I like to go over everything and make sure it's about pretty good, tip top, everything squared. I figured I'd share this info, try to get tons of more people in the hobby so they have a sense of idea where to start, because I know it can be frustrating when you're first getting into it, not knowing what to do, what does what to adjust. I want to help out the new guy, because I was the new guy. And I had a lot of people help me along the way. Me and Dad taught us everything we know, and they're still teaching us stuff. So I want to give back. Alright, so the first thing is, when we make sure on a brand new kit and all that, how we lay our electronics down, we want it to be dead center of a car. We want to line up with the entire drive line and all that. Try to have the weight in the middle. After you've done that, got all that done, break out your old trusty micrometer, and then you're going to measure and try to get each of your shock collars even with each other in the front. Make sure those two shock collars are even with each other, left and right. And then in the back, make sure your two shock collars in the back are about even with each other too. Trying to get everything neutral off the start before you put on the scales. Big help. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I got my micrometer zeroed out. Got it millimeters. So what I'll do is I'll take my micrometer and put it in between the shock collar and the shock cap, basically where the little lip is. And I'll take a measurement right there. Okay, and then compare it to the other side. Okay, and then adjust it to where we're about as close as you can get it. Is about what I do. I try to get as close as I can. You won't be able to get it perfect usually. Sometimes you can. Be great if you can, but get it as close as can. And I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I got the right front at 432, and then I got the left front at 430. That's about as close as I could get it. About close enough in my opinion. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference, but we'll be able to adjust it some more on the scale and get all the weight right. But I'm gonna do the same thing to the back, and I'll be right back. I was able to get the left rear 596 and then the right rear 597. So that's close enough in my opinion. So I'm about to put it on the scales. Alright, now I got the car on the scales, and then from the scales I can notice that the left rear is a little more lighter than the right rear. What I can do to fix that on the scales is by adjusting the preload. Since the left rear is light on this car, what I'll do is I'll start adding tensioning down on the right front. It'll transfer weight to that side, which I'll do this in a second and show. Okay, now in our shock adjusters, we got a little line right here on the little cool down. So I'm just going to tighten it about a turn or two, put a little tension on it to shift a little weight. Okay, I almost forgot. Another thing is, we like to use these chassis jigs on our cars, make sure all the arms and all that are in line. Check up Aaron Bells on Facebook and get you one of these, man. It's a lifesaver. It helps out a lot. Make sure everything's in line, everything's true. Helps out a lot. So I'm gonna do that to my car real quick. Hit them up. Alright, now I got the car on the setup station. I'm gonna set the front toe and camber and all that. Honey setup station is what I recommend to use. There's a lot of other ones on the market. I haven't messed with them all yet. I don't know many people that use them, but I recommend the Huddy. That's what I've used and a lot of other people I've talked to have used. But it's real simple to use. I'm just going to show you real quick. Got to make sure you have your car on. Turn my remote on. Okay, my power VSC on. Okay. Make sure everything's centered. Okay, we push down on the front of the car, and then with ours, alright, with our setup station, we got these little tick marks right here for each degree of camber. With ours, we like to run 0 degree camber in the front. So as you can see, I got it set to 0 degrees. And then on the other side too, it is also 0 degrees too. So now with the camber set, I'll set the toe, and I'll show you how to do that. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but we got this toe plate with ours, and it's like example in the camber part of it. Each tick mark is a degree. On ours, we like to run -1 degree in. So then with the setup station, it's got a line right there that you can't see on camera very well. And then when you line it up, each degree mark that it lines up, it tells you what degree it is. We like to run 1 degree, like I previously stated. And so I'm gonna set that real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, after I made some adjustments to the toe length, I'm just gonna turn the wheels a couple times, get it to recenter and all that, and just to see where I'm at. Okay, we'll push the plate all the way to the end, and then I don't know if you can get that on camera, if it'll focus. It won't, but I am at the 1 degree tally mark, and then so I've got this side set, and I'm gonna do the other side real quick. All right, now after I got all that set, the front end's right, got the car scaled, now I get on to setting the ride height. So on our car, on the front of our cars, we run 14mm bump stops. And how we check ride height is, as long as the bottom of the shock body is resting on the bump stops, we know our ride height is right. We run ours about 8 to 9mm in the front. And then I start out about 15mm in the back. And when the track starts getting more grip, I drop ride height. Which, same thing with bar height. I'll drop bar height down too. I'll start out about probably a 1/2 inch on bar height, and then I'll work our way down to all the way down. I've been as low as probably 6mm on a pretty good track. In Ohio, we were 8 in the front and 13mm in the back ride height with 8mm bar height. Because Ohio was a pretty high bike track. Tons of people were in the 4s. A lot of people were running real good times. I think there was some people was even in the 3s. There was a lot of prep down track. And when I bring the heat, I was about at the same setup level too. And we had people low 4s knocking on 3s. So the track took a lot of power. So we were able to run that low of bar height and ride height. So I'm going to show y'all how to set ride height. As you can see, like I was stating, the front shock body sits on the bump stop. So we know our front ride height's right. And then set the rear needs your ride height gauge. That's about what a ride height gauge looks like. This is the one I use. There's a lot of other good ones on the market. This is just what I have. Okay, it's pretty simple how to use ride height gauge. Each of these tick marks recommend a millimeter. So as you see, I've got it about at 15mm. And how to check it is, you slide it under the back of a chassis, and then you just want it where it barely grazes the bottom of a chassis. And that's how you know you got your ride height right. You want it to barely graze. So as you can see, I've got it set where I want it. So that's how I set my ride height. Okay, now that's all that's left after we done all that. We just got to set camber. And how I do it is, just got to get your camber gauge, don't matter what brand. I've just got an old RPM one that I've had forever. And then we like to run 1 degree positive camber in the rear. So like with everything else, you can see it's got the tick marks on it, and we're at 1 degree positive. So pretty simple. All you do is slide it against the tire, and then you want to make sure that there is no daylight showing. Like in this case, on this tire, there is daylight showing. As you can see through it. So, like, aka, there's a gap between it right there. So, just got to adjust that out by adjusting your camber length, and do it to both sides, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's how the camber gauge should look against the tire. As you can see, there is no gap between the sidewall of the tire on the top and the bottom between the gauge. So you just repeat that process to the other tire, and then that's how we set up the car. And now how we set bar height is pretty easy. All I do is I take an on-road ride height gauge, is what we use, and then all you do is, like this one has stair steps for each number of millimeters it is. So then all I do is slide it under it, and then I keep adjusting this wheelie bar rod until it drags on it, which I'll show in a second. Okay, now I've adjusted the wheelie bar rod a little bit, so I'm gonna pick up the car, place it down, then push the wheelie bar down on the ground and take my gauge and slide it under. Okay, so right now I am at about probably 8.5 millimeters, because the 9 won't go under it, but the 8 goes way past it. Okay, I'll adjust it just a little bit more to get it on the number I want. So adjust the rod a little bit, pick the back car up, push it back down, take the gauge, ride it right on under, and then the 9 goes right on under it. So then that's how I set my bar height, and that'll be a good start to try. Well, that's how me and Dad's always done it. I know there's a lot of people probably won't agree with how we do it. That's just how it's worked for me and him. That's how I was taught to do it. I've been doing it for a couple years, setting the cars up like that, and I've had pretty good luck with it. We're not the fastest, but I feel we can make a car go down a dirt road, and that's what I pretty hold my head high up about. So, and if this video does pretty well, I'll do a little bit of video on basics of tuning, because I feel if we want to get a lot more people in this hobby, I need to have an idea how to do things. It kind of sucks just going out there not knowing how to do anything. I've been there, and I want to prevent that from happening for other people. So I'm going to try to share my knowledge that people will bless me with, and I want to share my knowledge to other people too. Just pay it back. So probably be seeing another video like that soon, but y'all have a good night. God bless y'all.